Good evening everyone, and welcome to another edition of Elite Encounters video updates, this time for the 28th of March 2016. It's odd, my chat window seems not to be coming up on screen. It's a bit strange. Never mind, I hope I am broadcasting okay. If there are any problems, let me know. That's very odd, where's chatty gone? Very strange. Anyway, it's not important. Does the video capture thing come on? Yes, it does. Oh, look, we're not looking at me. There we go. I'm a bit dark, so we have to pay customs. Huh? Okay. Weird. Okay, right. I'm not going to waste any more time. Apologies, I'm getting a bit distracted with the chat, so I'm going to carry straight on. Yeah, welcome to the update, people. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching live on Twitch, then thank you for joining me live. If you're watching on YouTube, then thank you for watching the video. Just let me double check that we've got decent frame rate. Yes, we do. Okay, the agenda went out last night as always, and hopefully we're ready to go this evening. I'm not putting anything on the screen because there's quite a lot of graphics on here today, so hopefully we should be able to show you some cool stuff today. So, okay, progress then so far. Not been the best of weeks for working again, which is getting more and more frustrating as we come closer to the point where I have to get this stuff written and finished up. There's a lot of family issues been going on this week, and various different things that I've had to get done, as well as a little bit of work stuff and so on, which isn't great. But work is progressing. Not as fast as I would like at this stage, but it is progressing. So the Vehicle Combat Simulator again has taken up most of the week's worth of work, because that's the main part that needs to get finished. I'm going to reiterate that. The majority of the book is done. It's just this VCS sort of miniature rules tabletop battle system that needs to get polished off and finalised before we can kind of move on to other things and get the polishing done for the rest of it, and then start getting the graphics up to speed. So yeah, we've been working on the feedback we got from Chris a couple of weeks ago, and Colin and I have been trying to get things straightened out and sort of make sure that everything's compatible with everything else. We've changed the counter and the base design, which I'll come to a little bit later on, a couple of times. And in the meantime, other than that, I've been writing up the VCS rules and getting the actual proper RPG version of the game finalised and written up, which is a bit more of a task than I thought it was going to be. It's essentially writing another sort of mini book from scratch. So as I say, it's not progressing as quick as I'd like, but it's one of those things where I think it's going to seem it's going to be finished before I know it, because the progress that I'm making is kind of laying out whatever's going on, and it's going quite well. So I have also been doing some work on the main book graphics, some of the poster type stuff, some of the actual page designs and the cover, which are things that need to get done. I'm kind of trying to prioritise actual writing and sort of counter stuff that has to go with the book when it's going in for getting handed in. Some of the graphics stuff, the book graphics, the layout graphics, are things that need to get handed into Frontier and to the editor team. So I'm trying to sort of focus on that anyway. So, okay, the counter redesign. One of the things that Chris pointed out in his feedback was that the counter design sort of had a few holes, and there were some design issues that needed to be dealt with, which was fair enough. Part of it is kind of a stylistic thing, which is fair enough, but there are some actual flaws that Chris has been kind enough to point out that could have been sort of sorted out. So we have come to a conclusion that we can change the way it works, rather than having everything based on the centre. So measuring everything from the centre of the base, which was the old way of doing things. We wanted to change it, or I wanted to change it, to use the front edge of the base as the point where movement and firing is calculated from. There are a variety of reasons for that. I was going to go into that at this point in the document, but a few questions came in, which have kind of prompted me to create a bit of a section further on, which goes into it a little bit more graphically, and I can talk you through it at that point as well. So the concept has been changed to measure the movement and firing from the front of the base. This kind of highlights sort of how that's getting done. There's some changes, some fundamental changes actually to the base design, and especially the movement and firing arc template, which is a rather which was a large circle, as you can see in the previous image there, which would slot under the actual base itself, to one that actually slots around the front of the base, so that hopefully is a little bit easier to use. There's a bit of a clearer use at it, a clearer look, sorry, at it. As you can see, the grey outline sort of highlights the actual template itself, which is a completely black template in this instance. When it prints off, it's just a completely black kind of square, so it doesn't show up very well against my black background on the presentation here. So I've given it a bit of an outline just so you can see where the template begins and the page ends. So that's how it slots onto the base or the counter. It just has this little slot that goes around it, and it just snugly fits onto the end, and you can use that to measure up wherever you're going. So it should hopefully work out to be a little bit more easy to use. And that's pretty much it as far as things go. We did get some feedback and questions. We've got a couple of questions, one of which, rather lengthier than this in its original form, was a conversation that Colin and I were having about the templates. And because obviously I'm working with Colin on this, there's a lot of information going back and forward, and we are kind of trying to keep up with each other's changes and so on. We did have a conversation last week about it, but we've kind of both been ill since then, and it's kind of moved things around slightly, and we've kind of gone into a bit of a miscommunication. So in order to clarify to you guys and to Colin, I've decided to do a little bit of a presentation here for you. So one of the reasons was measuring on the mini bases was quite fiddly, because essentially when you had your base here, which is this is one of the bases for Colin's version of the rose. Now that circle in the middle there will have will eventually have a base post sticking out the top of it with a miniature stuck on top. So that's like a big post that's stuck in the middle. So it's kind of difficult to get your ruler kind of over that, because you've got this post sticking there. So you can't really get the ruler sort of across that middle bit and get your angles right. So it's a bit more fiddly to use. So the way we've done it now with the measuring point at the front means that you have your point of measurement isn't right in the center of that post, so you can't get your ruler. You don't need to get your ruler right into the center, which you can't there anyway, so you're going to be slightly out and having to make a bit of a guess. So the measure point being at the front, you can get your ruler right to the measuring point and get an exact measurement of distance from there. So that hopefully makes things a little bit happier on that. So obviously then you've also got the ability to lay your ruler on the base or the counter to get your line of arc measurement there as well. So the second reason is the ease of template use. Now this is the old templates. Again, you're using the center on the movement template there. You've got a bit in the middle where it slots over the actual base. Now that, although we thought that was a pretty good idea, in practice, as Chris pointed out, if you have to move your counter, lift it up, put that thing underneath it, put the counter back down again, and then sort out your movement, it can be a bit fiddly, especially if you've got a lot of ships around you. If you've got a ship at your side or ship at your front, all that, then you've got to move all those out of the way and get them on top. Whereas the new way of doing it, it literally, I'm using the white version of the template here, which is the eco-friendly version of it, then essentially it just slides on the front. It slides on and off the front like that, so you don't have to move anything out of the way at the side. You may have to move something away that's on the front or anything like that, but it's only really used as a bit of an aid for beginners and starters anyway. So as you get more accomplished at playing the game, then you shouldn't really need a template. But again, this makes it a lot easier. You don't have to lift your counter off the board. You can just slide it out of the way. You can slide that template on, and off you go. And the other one is improvements to range finding, because before, when you're measuring middle to middle, as Chris pointed out, you weren't getting a particularly long range. You were getting about 3 bases worth of range. So if that's how far away you could have another ship and still be in short range. So you were losing about an inch and a half of actual range, of actual firing distance. Because we're not allowed to overlap bases in this game, you are losing that much distance. So the distance from the centre of the counter to the edge of the counter, which is 2 centimetres, which is nearly an inch, you're actually losing nearly that inch, or perhaps more, depending on how far away the ship is and how far into that base you can go. So we decided that having the measuring point at the front, again, you're using your ruler from the front, you get a bit more range on there. You get the full range, because we're now using the front of the base to any other point on the enemy's base. So front to whatever. so that should hopefully give you a bit more of the range stuff on there. So that's the 3 main reasons for changing. That's the 3 main reasons why I think it works quite well. I've expressed that to Colin earlier on. I hope that he agrees with this, and if not, then as I've said before, you may find there be a small point of divergence on the measuring methods for Colin's miniatures game compared to the RPG, which is fine. It still means we can use the same stuff. Nothing really changes. We've got the same rulers, the same bases, and I've got no issue with drawing up separate templates for Colin if that's really what he wants to do. So not an issue. The other question is from Philip DeLuca. Does anyone have transcripts of the videos? Cannot make noon Pacific time since I at work, which means the Twitch only communications method leaves me at the loop long after I'm not entirely sure what the last bit there means. Long after the revised video game has already left the store shelves. Not sure what that bit means. So let's just look at the thing. We don't have any transcripts. I've tried doing transcripts of these, but any automated transcripting tool I have has just made a complete hash of the whole thing. Even Voice Attack, which is quite good at this, working out what I'm saying, has not been able to do a decent transcript of me talking into this microphone. It doesn't come out particularly well. The automated ways that YouTube does it again has problems, probably because I don't have a standard English accent. I have a Scottish regional accent, which kind of throws a lot of voice recognition software off unless it's been specifically programmed in with stuff. And I have trained have trained Voice Attack, so it's not like it doesn't know what my voice sounds like. It just still doesn't do a decent transcript. So sadly, I'm not going to waste my time doing transcripts, which kind of takes the time away from doing this. But this is not a Twitch only broadcast. This is not a Twitch only thing. Once it's gone live, it will be available on the voice on demand or video on demand for a while. So at Twitch TV/Selezen/manager/past_broadcasts, it'll be there until such time as I upload it to YouTube and it's finished and deleted. Sorry. Which brings me to the next way you can get it. It's available on YouTube in a playlist. Usually I put it up on the same night. Usually I do it either during or after the main Monday night stream. So it's usually up there at some point on the Monday evening. So tea time, Pacific time, you should have it sitting there for you. I've created a tiny URL for it there as well. So tinyurl.com/eliteencpl ELITEENCPL. And that'll take you straight to the Elite Encounters Updates playlist on my YouTube account. And the link for the actual video is always posted on the update, because I modify the update that's on the Elite RPG website, because I post the updates on Kickstarter and I post them on the Elite RPG website at the same time. On the Kickstarter update, it's always linked to the Elite RPG website's copy of that same update, and then on the Elite RPG update, I change, usually again on the same night I do the actual update. I change the text of the Elite RPG's update to contain a link to the YouTube video and to the PDF of this presentation as well. So it's always there. Loads of different ways to get this update. There was another thing in the bottom there. Anyway. So that was it. Yeah, so yeah, a couple of questions this week. Quite enjoyed them. Thank you for the questions. Upcoming events again, drawing things to a close now. Again, Elite Meet April 2nd, which is next weekend. We're definitely not going, so sadly we won't see anybody of you there if you do go. My congratulations if you're going. Have a great time. I'm sure you will. Sync one for me, and I think Grant was looking at planning having some RPGs running. Oh yeah, the Google Plus community as well, Bifford. Yeah, thank you for that. Bifford also put onto the comments that came onto Kickstarter that we do have a Google Plus community as well, and Bifford usually links everything onto the Google Plus community site as well. The link for that is, I believe, on the end page of this update, so you'll get that from there. Sorry Bifford, I completely forgot about that. There it is, but it's okay because we can't see that. If you're watching this live and you're a backer, then you can click on that link and you'll see all the updates. But obviously there's no chatty on the update this week, so no. So July 16th and 17th is LaveCon, which we shall be at, so hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. And as I say, the hope is that by that point the game will actually be released out and being played. So that's it again. Next update is Monday 4th of April, the first update of April, which is probably the last month of actual writing that's going to get done. If you have comments, questions or feedback, then let me know by next Monday at 6 PM and I'll include them in the broadcast as I have today. All the links at the bottom there are all the links that you'll need to get in touch, various different methods you can get in touch with me, including the new one, which is the playlist for the Elite Encounters updates on YouTube, tinyurl.com/EliteIncPL. And that bottom link there on the right, plus.google.com/u/o/communities/big number, is the Google Plus community. So, thank you again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're here for the next stream, the Monday night stream, this week you're going to be playing Planet Coaster. I hope you'll stay for that. If not, thank you for watching, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.